What is happening, people? Welcome back to Scarfe Spurs. So this is Tottenham versus Ipswich, a special preview, and I'm joined by a fantastic panel as we preview this game and also review Galatasaray. Firstly, Benjamin, how are you doing? Welcome back on the show. Obviously, you're back on the social media after a brief, kind of break. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, good to be back on. Thanks for inviting me.
Anytime. It's great to have you back on. Thank you very much. I'm joined by my co-host as always, Lois. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me on to talk about Spurs as usual.
Yeah, 100%. And welcome onto the podcast for his debut, Rich from the Suffolk Crunch, getting the Ipswich point of view. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, Harry. Thanks for having us on. Looking forward to chatting, mate.
No, it should be a good one. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it does help the channel grow. If you're listening after on a podcast platform, don't forget to drop a follow and a 5-star review. And shout out to our sponsors and partners in the Kitman and Security VPN, as usual. Benjamin, I'm going to kick it off with you. I'm going to start with Galatasaray. So we did lose that game 3-2, if anyone didn't see it. So what were your kind of thoughts on the game? What are the positives we can take out of that? You know, like the last 15, 20 minutes, does that come to you as a positive when we, could have got something out of it maybe towards the end?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, when Solanke came on and we made a couple of changes, like we could have been about 10-1 down. That's not even an exaggeration. We were getting absolutely played off the park. We were awful. But I just think, for me, it's a bit of a throwaway for me. I know it sounds bad, but I'm not really that disheartened about it, to be honest, because there's so many things you could pick at in that game. So many, like the defence, the passing. A couple of players didn't turn up to the races. A couple of players aren't up for it, maybe at all. Forster didn't set himself properly for the first goal, even though it was hit really well. There's so many things you could nitpick at, but we all knew we were going to play a weaker side. And, our first 11, I think we beat them all day long. So I think it's just one of those. It was one of those ones, and we're just going to have to move on and go on to Sunday.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Thank you very much for that. Lois, what are your thoughts on the game? Do you think, what do you make of our passing, for example, from the back? Some people say it's the worst they've seen since Ange took over. What do you make of that? Obviously, it was a changed team, as Benjamin alludes to there.
Yeah, no, I would agree. The passing was pretty shocking. I mean, it's what happens. We're riddled with injuries. We had 3 left wingers out of the game. Both our main centre backs both out injured, but had injuries. So I mean, it was always going to be a changed lineup. I mean, we were thinking of Ipswich already. I'm pretty sure Ange Postecoglou would have thought ahead to that, and he probably knew that we've already won 3 games, and we already have a safety net in quite a few more to come. So I think losing this game really is not the end of the world.
No, I agree with you. Rich, I don't know if you saw the game, but even if you didn't, you kind of look at the score. What were your thoughts on it? Obviously, as an outsider, a general football fan, does the result surprise you?
Look, tough place to go, Galatasaray. You made some changes, like you were saying there. You've won 3 games, so I suppose you want to get a result, but with them changes, it's not the end of the world for you guys. I saw their first goal. I think you've been a bit harsh on Fraser Forster there. I think he's got no chance of saving that. I think it's an absolute worldie.
I just like slagging him off.
But look, your young lad got a goal, didn't he, on his debut? But then he obviously got his second yellow and got a red card. So it's a learning curve for him. But listen, you'll go quite far in that competition. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rich, sticking with you, I want to focus on Ipswich's last game. It was a 1-1 draw at home against Leicester. Does that feel like a loss in terms of you concede so late? I personally think played really well, but whenever you concede that late, it does feel a bit like a loss, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I don't know if you guys see the game. We were obviously the better team. The game changes on 2 decisions. We should have had a penalty. I think everybody I've spoken to thinks it's a penalty. The only 2 people... Well, 3 people were Tim Robinson, the referee, and obviously Stuart Atwell, who was on VAR, and then there was Mike Reed, who was Mike Dean, who was doing Soccer Saturday, and then Dermot Gallagher on Monday on Ref Watch, and Stephen Warnock. If you just see his reaction, says it all to me, and he's literally laughing at him. And I think sometimes these refs, they all stick together, and in that same passage of play, it gets recycled. Calvin Phillips. He leaves a leg in on their defender. Does he catch him? Probably not. Is it a second yellow? Probably not. but the ref deems it is. So we get a double whammy there. We don't get the penalty. We're down to 10 men on 77 minutes, and then we played 10 minutes of injury time, and then it became really difficult. And it's probably a story of our season, Harry. We've played quite well in most games. There's not many games, probably just Everton and West Ham. We had Liverpool and City the first 2 games, which we weren't getting any points out of them, no matter how well we played.
Yeah.
But we've played well. The week before, we played well at Brentford. We were 2-0 up and then somehow ended up losing that game 4-3. And look, we're 10 games in and we haven't won, and we've got 5 points and we played quite well. So that shows how difficult it is, the gap between the Championship and obviously the Premier League. But then you look at where we've come from the last 2 seasons. We've still got some players who are playing in League One. So it's a massive learning curve, whatever happens this season. Personally, I think we got promoted probably too soon. I know you take it when you get it, but we didn't have chance in the Championship to sort of build a squad. But I don't think anybody, Town fans, would take the last 2 years away from anybody, because it's just been it's been absolutely incredible. And whatever happens this season happens. And if we go down, we go down. But you just got to enjoy it. You just got to enjoy it. And I know it's hard when you're not winning, but we're going Sunday to Spurs, a fantastic stadium, probably one of the best stadiums in Europe, you know, and whoever's going there on Sunday, just get behind the lads, and you should just enjoy them occasions. Just enjoy it.
Definitely. And as you said, it's been a real good ride those last couple of years. So absolutely, whatever happens this year, just enjoy it. And just, I think it's nice in a way going into the game as the underdog, just going, look, we're going to enjoy whatever happens, whatever we get is kind of a bonus. But you had a few, as you say, controversial, I suppose, refereeing decisions in that game. You had a penalty shout, as you said. I personally think that's a foul. I don't know how it wasn't given. I see it back on Match of the Day. For me, that's aggressive false. Phillips, that second yellow, I think is really harsh. I struggle to see any contact. And the other one was Morsey, a potential foul on him in their goal. That's the only one I'm not sure about. I look at that back and there you go. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah, I looked at it back and I think he didn't quite do enough to protect.
I think he's looking for a foul, Harry. If you think there, he's looking for that contact. He's probably thinking, I might get a free kick, and he didn't get it given. And if you look at the goal from our point of view, it's a really, really poor goal to concede at that time in the game as well. 94 minutes. And it's like it's them mistakes that probably if you're in the Championship, you might get away with some of them, but literally every mistake we're making in the Premier League, it ends in a goal, and that's just a harsh reality of life. And it is a bit of a sickener when I still don't understand why it's not a penalty. It baffles me. I've seen it back so many times, and I'm still wondering. I'm not sure what the rules are nowadays, because even if he's not give it on the field, why has it not gone to VAR? And I look at the West Ham Man United game the weekend before, when there's a penalty. I don't want to get into negative and moaning, and this is why we are where we are in the league, because it's not, and we haven't probably been good enough. But them decisions, especially for a team like us, who it's going to be difficult anyway, we need to have them go our way. And when they don't, and then you do see, you think it's a little bit... You hear fans from other teams who are lower down the leagues, when you're not in this division, like Wolves last season, some of the decisions they get, and Forest, and you think, but you're just moaning about it. When you get in the league and you see it, and you think, something doesn't add up here, because it doesn't seem right. And look, you just have to get on with it. I'm sure we'll probably do these things even themselves out over the season. They say it does. I'm not sure that when you're winning, and I think you do get decisions go your way, but I think when you're struggling, they always seem to sort of to go against you. But we just got to dust ourselves down, and maybe we'll get lucky at Tottenham and get a VAR decision at Spurs on Sunday. I don't think we will, but you never know.
I hope you don't, but we'll have to see that. But luck can certainly go your way. You just never know with football and the Premier League. But I think it's just you bring up some really important points. And Lois, I'm going to bring you in on kind of Ipswich's start to the season so far, 10 games in to the league season. What have you made of them? Does anything that you've seen go? I think this team can stay up. Anything you've seen so far?
To be honest, I'm going back to the first game when, I was excited to have football on, and Ipswich played Liverpool at home. And I thought Ipswich were brilliant that half. I know that seems like months ago now, that does. But, I feel like Ipswich have had a decent start to the season. And I feel like it's kind of a similar case with Spurs. I think Spurs have played better football than the points they've received. I feel like we deserve a few more points over the course of our performances. And I would say the same for Ipswich. I think Ipswich are definitely the better team against Leicester. I think the penalty was a penalty. I'd be pretty idiotic to think it wasn't. I mean, I feel like Ipswich have got enough to stay up. I think they've got some great young players, the likes of Liam Delap, Jack Clark. I mean, I really like their fullback, Leif Davies. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
He had a great performance against Leicester. I think I really like their team. I do. And I think Kieran McKenna is a tactical genius. I think he's said. I think he's brilliant, and I think they do have enough to stay up. I do. I think they've just got to. I think it's a case of when you're a promoted team, it's just winning your home games. You have to win your home games against the other relegated teams. I think that's what, or the other promoted teams. I think that's what the difference is. The difference maker is, and I think if they just get a couple of big wins at home, I think they have enough to stay up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just home form's vital. I think away from home there might be a problem. I think certainly now I look at you defensively, and I just think for a newly promoted team it's tough away from home. So I think you're going to have some tough away days, maybe a battering here and there, but at home games, if you can try and get a few wins, I think would be massive. But Benjamin, what are your thoughts on Ipswich and what you've seen so far?
Well, they're giving it a go. They've come up, they're giving it a go. Obviously, they're a bit unlucky last weekend. And they will get some wins along the way. I mean, they're 100% guaranteed to go 1-0 up against us on Sunday anyway, no matter what the result, because everyone does. Everyone goes 1-0 up against us. But no, they're giving it a go, and you never know. It's tough down there, and there'll be some surprises along the way, and one of them's going to get out of it, and so hopefully, it might be Ipswich. You never know. It's tough. Like the Championship in itself. My dad always told me years ago, he thinks it's the hardest league because everyone's trying to get out of it, and then when they're in the Premier League, they're trying to stay in it. So it's a dogfight. So yeah, let's see. It's always like the bottom half of the league is just as interesting as the top half of the league in the business end of the season. For sure.
Sometimes even more interesting, to be honest with you. I completely agree with you, especially as it gets towards the end of the season and we know the 6 pointers come into play, etc., and those vital points. But Rich, I'll come back to you. I want to know your thoughts on Spurs and Ange Postecoglou. What have you made of Spurs' start to the season, and where do you think we can finish based on what you've seen so far?
I like Ange. I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think he's a lot more honest than a lot of managers. I think a lot of managers they just trot out the same sort of stuff. I like him when he speaks. Look, you've had a decent start. I'm just hoping the Tottenham from the Brighton second half might turn up on Sunday. If it's the Tottenham from the second half against Villa, I think we might be in a bit of trouble. But look, I think you're exciting to watch. You play on the front foot, you score goals. Defensively, I think you probably give teams a bit of a chance. But I think that's how you want to play. It'd be interesting if he can deliver on his promise, because he said then he always wins a trophy in his second season, which I think is... I don't mind that kind of chat, because he's obviously confident in himself. I know he's probably put himself under a bit of pressure, and if it does backfire, he'll probably... You know what the media are like. He will probably come in for a bit of stick. But I like it that he's got belief in himself. And I think Spurs should be pushing towards... the top four. You're only 2 points now behind Arsenal, aren't you? So you're closing that gap on them. Wheels are coming off for them. But look, I think if you got in the top four, you're still in the quarterfinals. You're in Carabao Cup. You got United at home. Like I said, Europa League. I think you're favourites to win that. You got to win a trophy. You have to win a trophy, because it's been a long time. Was it 2008? Was it the last time you won a trophy? Which is for a club the size of Tottenham. That's too long, and now you've got that magnificent stadium that you've built, and now it's like just pushing on. I know, look, you're unlucky, weren't you, when you could have won the league that time when Leicester won the league, and then you got to the Champions League final, and it was so near, but yet so far, wasn't it, for Pochettino? Yeah. But look, Tottenham, good side, always exciting to watch. Got some. Look, we'll probably come on to your attacking players. You got some attacking talent there, that a lot of people are probably loving their team, and it's going to be a really tough game for us on Sunday. I'm under no illusions about that. But yeah, as a neutral, I like watching Tottenham. I think they're a good side to watch.
Okay, it's really good to hear. Thank you very much for that, Benjamin. I'm interested to get your thoughts. Obviously, I haven't spoken to you this season. What have you made of Tottenham's starts the season again under Ange Postecoglou, his second season. And do you think Rich is right there in terms of he has to win a trophy this year? You know, 16 years without a trophy, 2008. I've never seen one in my lifetime. Is it time to change that and win this year?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, we need a trophy. When you look at it, like Birmingham City have won the League Cup more recent than we have. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to win a trophy. Like we're in a good position. We've got Man United in the next round, and I'm confident at the moment that we can beat anyone at home because we seem to be turning it on at home at the minute. Away, I think we need to be a bit tougher away. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go to places like Palace, like we did, we're going to get kicked. Kick them back. Do you know what I mean? Like Mourinho said, he said you have to be nasty. Like he didn't use that word. He used the word.
No, he didn't.
Not ready for a family-friendly podcast, but you know, he said you have to be dirty, really, and depending on where you're going, you really do. Like I think we need to be tougher on the road. I think, but at home at the minute, I think we're doing pretty well. We're playing well. Like when it clicks, it's really nice to watch. Like really nice to watch, and he has got a good. I've been critical of him in the past, Ange, but when it goes well, it goes really well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, 100%. Lois, to bring you in on that, and again, Benjamin mentions there about our away record. We've only won 3 games on the road in the Premier League this calendar year. Is that an issue and something we need to find some consistency over 90 minutes away from home?
Yeah, I mean that's relegation form, really. I mean, away from home, I think that's pretty. It tells you what you need to know. I think if we were, I mean, I don't like saying hypothetically, but I mean hypothetically, if we were to have won Brighton, which we were 2-0 up, or even put up more of a fight against Palace away, we'd be in a very healthy situation in the Premier League right now, and it would look like we could really push on. But away form has definitely faltered our season so far. Well, I mean, in Ange in general, I mean, he's had a very up and down season, I would say, so far, because he had a run early in the season when we lost to Arsenal, when a lot of fans were unhappy with him, and then you go on a lovely 4-game winning run, and everyone's suddenly, I love Ange, but Ange in, and then we lose again 3-2 against Brighton. Oh God, Ange, what are you doing, mate? And then we go and turn it up, and then you go and beat West Ham for 1. You're like, oh Jesus, wow, Ange, you must be the man. Like, we're very up and down so far with Ange this season. And I think we just got to get behind him. It's as simple as that. I mean, I think away games, and definitely we need to win an away game soon. I mean, I think our next away game is Man City away, so that'd be lovely. But I mean, knowing us, that I wouldn't be surprised if we got a draw or even won that game, to be brutally honest with you, just because it's Man City. But away games in general definitely need to be improved on, because if we don't start winning away games and we only winning home games, we might find ourselves mid-table.
Yeah, 100%. And it wouldn't surprise me, as you say, if we go and get a result and win, for example, at the Etihad after the international break. We've seen recent results, like we beat Aston Villa and Man City, but then we lose to Crystal Palace unexpectedly. We think the game's done against Brighton, and we not only come away with just a point, come away with absolutely nothing. So really frustrating. But before we get on to this game itself, I want to talk about where both Ipswich and Spurs will finish. So we'll start off with Ipswich, and Rich, it's only fair we start with you. Put your neck on the line, put you on the spot here. Where do you think Ipswich will finish come the end of the season?
If I'm being honest, Harry, from the first 10 games, and look, Lois was saying there about he thinks we can stay up. I think we've got our work cut out, because when you've gone 10 games without winning, and we've got you on Sunday, after the international break, we've got Man United. That's Amarin's first game at home. And then we got Forest. So it's not getting any easier. We've just got to somehow stay in contact with that team who's fourth bottom. And if we can get to, say, January, and we're maybe 2 or 3 points behind, and then maybe we could add 1 or 2 in the window, that'll give us a chance. But we've got some big games after the Forest game. We've got we play Wolves, we've got Palace, we've got Bournemouth, and they're all games that we're probably going to have to take some points out. We're going to have to soon start putting, for as much as it's been some positive performances, it's points that matter at the end of the day. And I went to the Ipswich Town Foundation dinner last night, and Kieran was saying, like, whatever happens, we're going to enjoy it this season. And I do get that. But even at the minute, you've got some fans you can hear on social media, and they're starting moaning. And I'm thinking, you just need to remember where we were 2 years ago. We were going to places like Morecambe and Accrington and Stanley, and And now we're going to Spurs and we're playing Man United, and this is what we want to, where we want to be, and this is what we want to do. If I'm putting my neck on the line now, I don't think we're going to be good enough this season. I see the comment there a little while ago in the chat from the Newcastle fan about we're a little bit like Luton, and you don't want to keep having plaudits. There you go. Good in many games, can't get over the line at the end. He's bang on the money there. And you don't want to keep saying every week, Ipswich played really well. But they lost again by the odd goal. Because Luton done that several times last year. They were in a lot of games until right at the end and then just lose out by the odd goal. I don't really want to be like that. I want to be, look, that is being competitive. And if we can be as competitive as we can, I do get that. But I just think at the end of the season, like I said a little while before, I think we've probably come up too early. And it might. I don't think it won't be a disaster if we get relegated because the club's in such a good position now. The new ownership group have come in the last 2 or 3 seasons. There's plans for a new training ground, so it's not a disaster if we go down. I know a lot of people say, "Yeah, but you lose a lot of players." We won't lose a lot of players. Like you were saying a minute ago, Lewis. You've got Leif Davis will probably move on. Delap will move on, but that just happens. But then you'll have that parachute money. And I know it's not easy to come back from the Championship, but we'll be in the mix. And I'm sure if McKenna stays around, which I think he will, I think Harry's got the safest job in the Premier League. He could lose every single game and he wouldn't get the sack because what he's done over the last 2 seasons, he's bought himself he's bought himself so much time. But yeah, getting back to where I think we'll finish, I think we'll probably just fall short, you know. And that's just me being honest. I'd love to say we're going to stay up, but from what I've seen so far, it's wins that count. And we haven't won in 10 games and we've got 28 games to go. You're probably going to need, 34, 35 points to stay up. So that's another 30 points we've got to take from them remaining 28. That's over a point a game. That's a massive ask. Although I do think our first win's going to come against Man United, but that's a totally different story.
Oh, we'll have to see. Yeah, no, thank you. I really do appreciate your honesty. I think you're spot on, and like as well, like you mentioned, fans get annoyed so quickly. I think not to the same level, but it's the same with Spurs. And Lois can chip in here. I mean, we were over the moon. Would have been over the moon when Ange came in to get 5th in his first season, and then because of how it ended, people throw the toys out the pram. But the reality is, the season before we're out of Europe, we got back in the Europa League. So I think that context is really important. Benjamin, I'll come to you. Ipswich, where do you think you'll finish? Obviously, you've been, you spoke of them highly. Do you think they stay up, or do you think they go down as Rich thinks they will?
Well, your best indicator is after Christmas, really. Then you start to see top and bottom where it's going to go, don't you? But I would say for now, I think they'll just be below the mark, to be honest.
Okay.
Like the guy said, the Newcastle guy, it's very similar to Luton. Playing well but can't get it over the line. You need those 3 points.
Yeah.
My only worry is with Ipswich is I think that Palace will maybe push on a little bit now, and when they get Eze back, I think they go on a run. Wolves have got a favourable next 6-8 games now. They've got the hard fixtures out of the way. But having said that, I think Everton may fall back into it. Southampton, I can't see them really building on that win. So I think teams like that may be in and around you. But yeah, like you say, Rich, it's just about keeping with the rest of the pack and showing fight until the very end, which I think Luton did do. Is you don't necessarily want to be them, but they did fight until the end. But obviously,
I hope not, really, like, because when the Premier League was first about, Ipswich, you'd always think they'd be in the Premier League because they were one of the teams that they were one of those teams, like in the Merlin '95 sticker book. And stuff like that.
That's way before your time, Harry. Way before
your time, yeah. But yeah, they were sort of like they were Premier League, so it's nice to see them back, and it'd be nice for them to stay.
It would be nice as well. You get the teams coming up from the Championship. You want it to be competitive. You don't want teams coming up and like last season, Harry, Luton, Sheffield United, Burnley going straight back down, because I don't think that does the league any good. But the gap is absolutely massive, and we signed 12 players, and we've probably got some really good players from the Championship, but it's still a gamble on them signings that you're signing. That are they going to be good enough to make that leap? And some will, some won't. But we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, I think we will. I think we'll be competitive. But you hit the nail on the head a little while ago there about defensively. That's probably the main thing that we've got to stop shipping goals. And you look at I think we've conceded 4 on the road 3 times already this season. So it could be another long 90 minutes on Sunday if you score early, I think.
It may be indeed. It's all about gelling together, and it's not going to do that instantly either. You make 12 new signings. That's the right thing to do, as you say, to be able to cope with that step up to the Premier League. But it's not going to glue together like that. I think it does take time. I think we've seen with Forest when they signed all their players. Now it's just starting to come together nicely for Nuno, but they were struggling for form at periods last year. Lois, where were Ipswich finished? I think we have discussed them before on the Premier League podcast, but any new thoughts on them going into the international break?
I'll say 17th. Like, I have to back what I say. I'm a man of my word, and I think I just want to be a bit positive. I like Ipswich. I do. I mean, I hope they stay up. I really do. I mean, I do. I always think that one team out of the 3 should always stay up. And if you look at it now, to me, Ipswich have the best chance of doing that. I mean, I know Leicester are a 15th, but I just don't think that'll stick. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. But I feel like teams like Everton and Southampton are probably destined. Maybe not Everton. Southampton definitely probably to me are destined to go down. I don't like what's happening with Wolves at the moment. I think, to be brutally honest, I think if Gary O'Neill does not get a win on the board very soon, I think he could be in serious trouble.
And Southampton, aren't they, tomorrow? Tomorrow. Massive game.
If Wolves do not win that, Gary O'Neill is under serious pressure, and agreed. I don't think it would be right to sack him. I like Gary O'Neill, I do, and I think he's just a bit of a rough patch. And I think if Wolves were to sack him, I don't see who they're getting, and I just think Wolves might get relegated. I think it's going to get a bit worrying for them, and I think that maybe a team like Wolves getting relegated could maybe help Ipswich and could help them. Maybe a team you didn't expect to go down. And I think Everton might drop down as well. I don't think Everton will sustain this. I think Everton will be down there. I think Ipswich could do a great escape, and I think they could be there. I really like Ipswich. The only problem that it seems to me, and I've already said this about the young players, is you've bought a very, very, very good championship squad. Like a team that if you win the championship right now, you could probably neck up 100 points if you win the championship right now. Because your team is that good. But I think with Premier League, it's just it's a different board game, and I don't think. It's going to be hard, but I could see you finish in 17th. I could see that.
That's interesting. We'll have to see how it goes. A bit of positivity for you there, Rich. But on Wolves, I just think that Gary O'Neill needs a little bit more time. I do feel sorry for Wolves in the sense that, they do pre-season as usual. Everything looks really positive. They're beating big teams from different countries around the world. But then they get, closer to the season, they lose Kilman, which I think is massive for them. They use crucial players like that. Obviously, they've had problems with goalkeepers this year. Who's going to start? But Kilman to West Ham was a big blow for them defensively. Obviously, Neto to Chelsea as well. So I felt they've left like that. And I think they've been struggling really because they haven't really replaced the players. They didn't have enough time to do that. Obviously, the fixtures, if you look at it now, that was a scary start for fixtures. You can't get that much tougher than that. But we'll move on to the game itself. Benjamin, what are your thoughts ahead of the game as a Spurs fan? Obviously, we come into this in good league form, I would say, overall. But obviously, the last result was a loss, as we know, to Galatasaray. So, how are you feeling ahead of this game?
Yeah, I'm confident. As I say, I think at home at the minute, I'm pretty confident we could beat anyone at the minute. I think we're turning it on at home at the minute. Like, usually go 1-0 down, so I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't again. But yeah, I think it'll be quite comfortable Sunday. Okay. But I've been wrong before, and we are Spurs, so you never know.
No, you just never know. Lose that and then beat City after the international break. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, we've seen some real funny results for sure. Lois, how are you feeling ahead of this game? You also confident that we can get the job done?
I am confident, but the thing is with me is that I feel more confident about bigger teams coming to Spurs than I do about teams that are maybe lower down in the league, because I just feel like we're a team that helps the teams in the lower half and then sticks it to the guys in the bigger half or the top half of the table. But no, I feel like this is a game we should be winning, and I feel like, I mean, I'll be honest, if we don't win this game, I feel like it might be it won't go down well. It won't go down well at all, because I feel like we need to start getting points up on the board and push on. I mean, to me, I don't even think top 4 is that big of a priority this season. I still think winning a trophy is a much bigger priority on my agenda. And so even if we finish 6th or 7th, I wouldn't care. But I still think that we need to be beating teams. We need to be winning at home. we need to be winning away, and we just need to get some points on the ball and build some confidence in ourselves, really. So I feel like I see us winning. I don't think it will be maybe a battering. I feel like it'll be quite close, actually, but I think we'll just about go over the line.
Well, this is big for both teams in terms of momentum going into the international break. Sometimes I think maybe it's overthought, but it is nice. I think, for example, Ipswich's point of view, obviously I'd hope this doesn't happen, but you go into it with a win, your first win of the season, unexpected against a top 6 team, and then that just for me gives you a massive confidence boost. For Spurs, we never go into the international break with a win. And when we do, players get injured in the 2 weeks and it just all goes to pot. So we'll have to see what happens. But Rich, you've said you think it will be tough for Ipswich. So you've got any other thoughts ahead of this game, and also where you think you can exploit Spurs?
Yeah, look, I think obviously first 20 minutes, Harry, we've got to be really tight. I don't think we can give you early goals, which we've done on the road. When we went to West Ham, Southampton, we let goals in. I think West Ham was 52 seconds. Southampton was in the first 5 minutes. But then last time when we went to Brentford, we were 2-0 up on 44 minutes, and then somehow we were 2-2 at half time. So, look, defensively is where we are going to have to be almost perfect. I think we'll need a little bit of luck as well along the way, because I think you're going to have the majority of the ball. And it's like we're going to these stadiums, and it's a bit of a free hit for Town, as far as I'm concerned, going there on Sunday. And it's massive for the players, but I don't want them to go there like thinking, wow, look at this stadium, look at this stadium. And you're a bit starstruck because we've got a job to do. And I think if we could get it to 0-0 after 20, 25 minutes, and then you never know, you might nick a goal from a set piece, because I don't think you're too good from corners, are you? I think you're maybe a little bit susceptible from set pieces there with Davis with his delivery. So that might be something we can exploit. We might be able to exploit here in behind with Delap because with his pace.
Yeah.
But I think
especially out Van der Ven as well. I think Delap is,
Is Romero out as well?
He's in contention to play, but I don't think it'd be risked, to be totally honest with you. But he might play. So
look, there might be a couple of changes there for you. So possibly, but I just think to get a result, if we come away with anything other than defeat, I mean, a point would be massive. It really would be massive. And you look at the table, it really should have been the last 2 games against Leicester and Brentford. We really should have won both of them games. We should be sitting on 10 points now, but we're sitting on 5. So then, going into this game, there wouldn't have been so much pressure on us. I'm not saying we're going in it under massive pressure, but we do soon have to start delivering, and you're probably going to have some results along the way. If we're going to stay up, like Lois says, we're probably going to have a couple of surprise victories somewhere along the line. And
when you don't deserve it as well, to grind them out and get it done.
Yeah, because we've played well in games and we haven't won. So maybe it's a case of you nick a couple of games where you didn't play that well. But I think in the Premier League, for us to do anything, we have to play at our very, very maximum. And I looked at some stats from the teams that got relegated last season, Harry. They won 6 away games between themselves. So you were saying there a bit earlier, weren't you, about home form, which is absolutely bang on the money. And I don't think we're going to get a lot away from home sort of all season. So it's a bit of a free hit. We go in, we're wearing pink, so you'll see us because we're going to be very, very bright. We've got a pink kit that not a lot of our fans like. I think it's quite nice, actually. It's a little bit different. Ed Sheeran helped design it. So we're going to be debuting that on Sunday. So maybe you'll be absolutely dazzled by it defensively, and you make a couple of errors and we might nick the points. But I think
maybe
personally, I think it'll be a defeat on Sunday for Town.
Yeah, fair enough. Again, your honesty is refreshing, so thank you very much. Lois, on to the lineup. What would it be? You or Ange Postecoglou right now? Obviously, we know players unavailable. People haven't seen it. Mikey Moore's unavailable with the virus. Werner's expected to miss out. Richardson's out for a while with a hamstring injury. As far as I know, Odebear's still out. I think Spencer's still out. Romero's in contention. So what would your lineup be?
Vicario, because I think Fraser Forster. I won't even talk about that actually. Pedro Porro, right back. I think if Romero is fit, then yeah, by all means, because I think we desperately need him. I don't really want to talk about Dragusin and what happened on yesterday, but if he's not fit, then yeah, we'll have to play Dragusin then, won't we? Really. I mean, even if Romero was fit, I think we'll probably still play Dragusin anyway. But I think I hope it to be Romero and Dragusin, if not Dragusin and Ben Davis, because yeah. And then left back will have to be Destiny Doji. Defensive midfield, I mean, well, one of the three. I'll go with Suma. I think he had a good game. If he's not feeling too fatigued, I think he actually had a pretty good game. Not many Spurs fans are talking about that. I think he was pretty good, but not many Spurs fans seem to back him up. In my opinion, that he was quite good on Thursday. But that's fine. I'll play Basuma, and to be brutally honest, I think if there's a game to play Ange Postecoglou's lovely 2 attacking midfielders, it would be this game. But I still wouldn't do it. I'd play Bentancur because I think he was fantastic when he came on. And I genuinely think he's our best midfielder right now. I mean, I guess you could add Kulusevski into that debate, but I think based off natural midfielder ability, I think Bentancur is our best midfielder and probably the best midfielder we've had since Moussa Dembele. So I'll play Bentancur, and then also I have to play Kulusevski. Unfortunately, Maddison, you're pretty shocking on Thursday, so it's not really based off form. I think I'd have to play Kulusevski, and then the front three speaks for itself, and Son, Solanke, and Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I think James Maddison, it's all shame for him, and it is consistency. I just gives it all the big talk before the game, but I never quite see the level of performance on the pitch. And I always get frustrated when he's not picked for England. But then if you look at that performance, and part of the captain's kind of group vice captain, and it doesn't for me stand out to me as a leader, shies away from the spotlight. But I could be completely wrong. Benjamin, what would your lineup be? Would it be any different to what you've heard from Lois? Anything you prefer to see?
No, it'd be the same. I think that's spot on, really. With Basuma, I think he can have good games, but because a lot of the fan base when he's back, it sticks. Mud sticks. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't do too well for a while. Everyone just sees him as, even if he has good games, some fans are like that. Some fans are like that. They just won't praise him for anything. But he did. I thought he played well last night.
Yeah, certainly. I think Basuma was the only one who could perform well over 90 minutes. I think Bentancur, as Lois alluded to, really well when he come on. Sarr as well, looked really good. Solanke, really neat finish, a man in confidence. I think Ipswich will have to watch. Rich, what would your lineup be from an Ipswich point of view? Anything you would change? Obviously, Calvin Phillips being unavailable.
Yeah, getting back to James Maddison, I'll be quite happy if he's on. I'll quite happy if he's on the bench because obviously ex-Norwich. And he'll probably be he'll have a little bit of added. I think he obviously played for them, scored against us when he was playing for them, and I think that'll give him a little bit extra on Sunday. I see his great free kick he scored against Villa. Look, he's a really good player, but I think he's probably, Harry, one of them players. If he's playing for your team, you'd probably tear your hair out because you know how good he can be.
Yeah,
I just think he's just probably inconsistent, isn't he? But then maybe he just needs someone to believe in him and keep playing him. As far as we're concerned, we'll probably go with the same lineup that we had last Saturday, other than obviously Phillips, which is probably a big miss in midfield because I think he's been playing quite well lately. So Muric in goal. We've got some defensive injuries. I think Twanzebe and Greaves will be back after the international break, McKenna said today. So you'll have Ben Johnson at right back, Dara O'Shea. He's actually playing with a broken bone in his back at the minute. So he's doing quite well, actually. He'll be partnered by Cameron Burgess, who's come with us from League One. We signed him from Accrington Stanley. So he's getting some games now. Look, it's great. It's a great story for some of our players. You know, they were playing down the leagues and now they're playing in the Premier League. And then obviously you got Leif Davis at left back, who I think personally, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I think he's been a bit unlucky not to get picked for England because I don't think we're exactly stacked with left backs. Although I think Lewis Hall's a good player. But I think if Davis played for a bigger team, Harry, I think he'd probably be picked. I think if you look at Solanke,
100%.
Solanke was scoring a lot of goals for Bournemouth, but didn't get picked. Gets a move to Tottenham, and then he gets picked. So I think that's probably how it works. So Davis might have to wait until he definitely leaves town for me if we go down. 100%. I think he could play at a top club. I think he's that good. He's got I think it was his 100th game on Saturday. I think he's got 35 assists already from left back, which I think is unbelievable. So he'll be your left back. Sam Morsey, captain in the midfield with a Swedish guy called Jens Kajust. He'll be playing. And then you've got your three in front, Amari Hutchinson. He had been playing in the 10, but he played on the right-hand side. on Saturday because we've got Bonnet, who we signed from Luton. He's out for the season. He's done his Achilles. That's another thing, Harry. We've been quite lucky the last 2 seasons with injuries, and then we've literally been 10 games in, and we've got we play less games, but we've got more injuries. So it's probably the intensity that we're playing at, because you're playing massive jump up in the level. So yeah, Hutchinson on the right, Sammy Smodix on the left. He's another great story. He's played in literally from the National League all down the leagues. He started at Colchester. He's come to town. He's done quite well so far. Got a couple of goals. He's keeping Jack Clark out, which I think Jack Clark's a very good player, but he's another one. He looked great in the Championship. Obviously, he was at Tottenham before.
Yeah,
and he didn't even. I don't think he made a Premier League appearance for Spurs when you signed him. So he's another one who's. I think he'll be great if we go back down. And I totally agree with what Lois said a little while ago with the team that we've got. If we went back down, I mean, we got 96 points with a team that come up from League One. And I mean, we've got better players now. So I know football doesn't always work like that, but I think if we do go down, we've got a good chance of coming back up. And then you've obviously got Liam Delap up front. And he's probably been our star man so far. He's got 5 goals. We signed him on loan from Man City. He was on loan at Hull last season. I see a few rumours a couple of weeks back that Tottenham are looking at him in January. I don't think he'll go in January. He's another one. I think you'll struggle to keep hold of him if you go down, because I think if he's got 5 already. Say he gets 15 goals, Harry, in a team that gets relegated. We signed him for 20 million. So his price is just going to go up, and this is what we never had before the new ownership came in. We never had a plan. We never had any assets we could sell, which now they're all assets that we've.
You're in a good position financially, I think.
Yeah, even if we get relegated, we're still going to be in a good position. They're building a new training ground. They're spending 30 million on that. So talks of a new stand. That's probably a little bit down the line, but it's an exciting time to support town. I know it's because we're probably used to over the last couple of seasons, we're winning games, and now we've come to the Premier League and we haven't won a game, and you just got to get your head around it as a fan. I knew going up that it was going to be really, really tough, but I think a lot of people they're living in a little bit of a dream world. They're thinking, oh yeah, we're going to finish mid-table in the Premier League, and I'm thinking, hang on. 2 years ago, we're playing Forest Green away on one of the first games of the season. So you just got to be a little bit realistic, I think, of where we are as a football club. We're in a much better position, and whatever happens, happens. It's football. We need a little bit of luck along the way if we're going to survive. But we'll see what happens on Sunday. But yeah, I think. I can't see anything other than a defeat on Sunday. It could be a heavy defeat. I'm hoping, obviously not.
No, you'd be hoping not, but we'll have to see how it goes. Talking, on that note, Benjamin, what's your score prediction for this game? So you said you're confident at home.
Yeah, maybe 3-1. I'll go with
3-1 Spurs. Okay, Lavis.
I'll go 2-1. I think it will be quite tight, to be honest.
Be tight, okay. And Rich, what do you reckon?
I'll go 3-1. I think we might score first. Hopefully, we obviously scored at Man City, Harry, in the first away game of the season. Yeah, which was probably the worst thing that we've done, because I think 5 minutes later we're 3-1 down. For a minute there, it was like we were going absolutely mental. Their fans are laughing at us because they probably think, yeah, but we know what's going to happen next. So we got a little bit carried away. So if we score first at Tottenham on Sunday, I think we'll enjoy it, but hopefully we could hold it for longer than 2-3 minutes and not be 3-1 down after 5 minutes of the game.
The key against us is getting that second goal, because Benjamin and Lois back me up on this. Once we get a goal back, we seem to against Villa. It just seems to. I don't think we're fantastic the first half. We've got that goal. 4 minutes into the second half, we just seem to push on. That confidence seems to go a long way with the team. So if you can get that goal, you can ride it out to half time before we change anything. And I think you have a lot of attacking threat. I do worry from set pieces. You mentioned there, Lee Davis, really good threat. Delap does concern me, especially that Van de Ven. So I think you'll cause us problems. It's just defensively how you'll cope. And I think without Calvin Phillips to protect the defence, I think that is a big blow and filling that kind of gap. So that'd be really interesting. But before we wrap up, Benjamin in particular, I want to get you where you think Spurs will finish come the end of the season. We've done Ipswich. What are you thinking?
I just think the consistency will be our downfall, to be honest. I don't think we're going to finish too low, but I'm going to go 7th, I think, and a domestic cup. 7th in a domestic cup, I think.
I'd take that. Would you take 17th in a domestic trophy? I see that thing coming around a lot. I personally would.
No.
No?
Okay. I don't want to be right down there, but like 7th, all right. I mean, you would
right.
just for the trophy, because we ain't won one since like Jesus was knocking about. So you know, we need a trophy, don't we? But no, 17's a bit too low, isn't it?
It's not
for us. Yeah,
hypothetical.
exactly. Yeah.
No, I understand. I just see that going around a lot. I mean, I would if it comes to it, but yeah, we don't really want to be down there, do we? Then we just relying on the cups, but a trophy would be great. Lois, obviously, we speak about this a lot. Any new thoughts? Because I mean, it is a roller coaster ride being a Spurs fan. We've seen some real highs that we spoke about this year, and some real lows of Crystal Palace, for example, Arsenal, you name it.
Yeah, I said in the chat one time I'd take finishing 17th and surviving on goal difference and winning a trophy, then finishing top 4. I did say that. I mean, I was joking, but look, I mean, I'd finish 10th and have a trophy. I really wouldn't care, to be honest. I mean, I think this whole top 4 thing is really just. I mean, it's a bit of a hoodoo. I don't really care. I'm never really bothered.
We're not going to win it, are we? We've been in it several times. What's the point? Well, you don't get anything for being in it. It's great to play these teams, and I feel a real buzz we're in the Champions League, but we get knocked out in the knockouts. We're not going to get to the quarterfinals.
We're nowhere near good enough to win. We're nowhere near good enough to win that competition.
Exactly.
Nowhere near.
I don't see the point. Whereas if we Carabao Cup's the quickest route to the final, and as Rich said, I think we're one of the favourites for the Europa League, probably along with Man United. There's a lot more games in the new format, but not as strong in terms of depth.
I mean, I'd say right now, I feel like the Carabao Cup's a great opportunity, but I mean, to me, I mean, if we were to hypothetically get past Man United, I mean, you've still got Liverpool and maybe Arsenal in that, which is going to be hard. So I think based off teams, I know we just lost to Galatasaray, but based off teams in a competition, I think you've got to go for the Europa League. I think it has to be the Europa League. I mean, I'm saying that because you get Champions League at the end of it anyway, and you have a trophy.
If you win it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why not? I mean, why would you prefer to finish top 4 and then get Champions League, or win a trophy and get Champions League? I don't understand it. I mean, the Europa League's great.
I get it from the club's point of view because the money difference, a lot more.
Yeah, I get that. I mean. I think the Europa League's a great trophy, and I'm not saying that because we've won it twice, but I actually feel like the Europa League's an underrated trophy. I think it's, but I mean, maybe not for a club like us, but I mean, if you were a team that were like, I don't know, like 6th or 7th in the Liga or Bundesliga, that's a massive trophy. And I mean, to others, it might not. To a team like Spurs, it might not seem as massive, but I mean, back in our day, we were. I mean, it is now.
Take it.
I mean, back in our day when the Europa League was first formed, we were the first one.
I think the Carabao. I think Arsenal will go through, but I can call me crazy, but I can see a potential banana skin for Liverpool, Southampton away. I really can. I don't think it's going to. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy at all. And the cup's full of surprises. I think Arsenal will go through, but I could see Southampton possibly getting there.
I mean, North London Derby Carabao Cup final, anyone?
Well, yeah, it may well be, unless we get them in the semi.
That would be interesting. Interesting. No, but you have to play the best sometimes to be the best. And Arsenal not in a good run of form, but up there with Man City. Obviously, we're beating City, so arguably we're beating the best. So by that logic, maybe we might go on to win it. But Rich, what do you reckon in terms of Spurs, what they could achieve? You mentioned there, and I completely agree with you earlier about the importance of Spurs winning a trophy. Do you think they will do that, and also the league position?
Well, interesting fact is, if you beat us on Sunday, obviously you play before Arsenal because they play at the 4:30 game. You'll actually go above them in the league, so that might put a little bit of pressure on them. Look, like I said, Postecoglou's saying he always wins a trophy in his second season. I think that might come true. I think you probably benefit in the Champions League that I think the teams that get knocked out don't come in.
That's
like
massive,
the old, I think that always baffled me a little bit that you've been unsuccessful in the competition, but then you have another chance to go in another one, which that's gone now. So I think, look, you'll go far in that. You could do a cup double. You never know. You might have a Carabao Cup Personally, I'd love to see it be a Spurs Newcastle final, because obviously Newcastle have not won nothing for absolutely decades, and obviously Tottenham. So that would be good. It'd be nice to see a different team win a domestic trophy. You know, City have gone; they're out. Obviously, Liverpool won it last year under Klopp. I know obviously Slot will look to get his first trophy of his reign there, but I don't see no reason why you can't go far in that. Look, you're gonna have to beat good teams if you want to win trophies. You know, that's just what happens. It's like I do think in the league, like you were saying, like your league form, you've only won 3 away games this calendar year. You know, if to get in that top 4, that has to improve, because you've obviously you're going to have City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's 3, I think, nailed on. I think there's a spot up there in 4th, maybe a Chelsea possibly, but I think you'll be chasing them down. But yeah, I can definitely see you winning a trophy this season, and I think you need to. You know, it's been, like I said earlier, there 2008. For a club the size of Tottenham, now you've got this fantastic new stadium. You need to start putting trophies in the cabinet.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much for that, Rich. And that kind of wraps us up nicely for this little preview special. Though, thank you to everyone who listened, whether it be live on YouTube. If you did, please smash the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it does help the channel grow and improve. So that must be massively appreciated. Check out our sponsors, Insecure VPN and the Kitman. And if you're listening on the podcast platform and enjoyed the episode, don't forget to drop us a follow and a 5-star review. If you didn't enjoy the episode, I don't know what to say to you. Try again, maybe, or maybe not quite the podcast for you, but we'll get onto that, because there are definitely other channels and podcasts. Some of them have got them that on this panel tonight. Firstly, Benjamin, thank you very much for coming on. Where can people find you? Because you're back on social media.
Yeah, Twitter or down the pub.
Fair enough. Appreciate your honesty. But it's nice to have you back on. So appreciate you giving us your time this evening. No, anytime. Thank you very much. Lois, thank you very much for joining us as always. Where can people find you across social media, and talk to people about what you do for the page and the channel?
Well, it seems like a formality that I say this every time, that I'm very unactive on my personal account on Twitter, Romero17 season, as you say there. Say it every time, but it's true. Unfortunately, I'm not very active, but I'm more active, fortunately, on Scarfe Spurs Talk Twitter page. I do some posts over there. I do a lot of shows with Harry, and yeah, if you want to follow us, that'd be greatly appreciated, and we'll keep you up to date with Spurs news. And I mean, every away game, I should be giving live updates for most games. I should probably talk about that, and I do that throughout the game as well. I mean, so yeah, for you during away games, I mean, if you want to be on Twitter, I think you should follow Scarfe Spurs Talk, because I'll keep you updated during the game.
Yeah, and we've got a new goal graphics, haven't we? Which was very funny created, which they are very good. So we don't get to use them a lot with Spurs though. So we're rolling them out soon. What was it? The first game we wanted to use them and we couldn't. I can't remember.
It was Palace. Palace. We didn't score.
That was it. Yeah, Palace. So we didn't score, did we?
But Will Lancashire is the first person we got to use the goal graphic. I didn't expect that at all.
No. So there we go. But Rich, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Talk to people about the Suffolk Crunch, because you created a YouTube channel fairly recently, I would say. And it's absolutely blown up, isn't it?
Just when is your awards ceremony, Harry, for your FCAs? 2
weeks' time.
At Tottenham?
Yeah, at Tottenham, Might win a trophy for the first team.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of them, so all the best for you for that. I've voted for you, I hope you go well. Yeah, the Suffolk Crunch on YouTube. Get subscribing. We're nearly at 8K. Started in, I think it was in June.
Wow.
Just doing a few videos and just talking about town and trying to be sort of. I'll just try and be honest, Harry, when I talk about town. And I don't. If we're rubbish, I'd say it. If we're good, I'd say it. I don't try and sort of have the old blue tinted glasses on. I think sort of you just got to be honest. And have we been good this season? In parts, we've been good. Not so in others, and I'll just sort of say as it is. So if anyone wants to drop me a subscribe, go to YouTube, search the Suffolk Crunch, and on the journey to 8K, Harry.
Yeah, it's really impressive. It's such a short period of time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what your secret is. I'll certainly be asking you off air, but no, you're absolutely smashing it. So it's an honour to get you on this evening. So do really appreciate it. And if people check out the Matchday vlog as well, Rich is going to be featured in that with his pre-match thoughts. So do check that one out as well. So thank you very much to everyone. But for now, a massive come on you Spurs. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're listening.